Today, today, you guys, I am super, super geeked because I have the wonderful, talented Arizona-based elopement photographer. Who knew that was a thing? Christina Johnson. Hey, Christy, how are you?
I'm doing great. So excited to be here.
I am excited that you're here too. I mean, I told you this off camera, but like I'm loving her curls. I'm loving the red. I'm just like, I might want to dye my hair that color. Thank you. Starting a trend. Yes, yes.
Thank you. It's giving Sedona Red Rocks is what I am my brand. So
Yeah, that part. That part. She said she is her brand. She already knows on the marketing podcast. Yes. Yes. So, Christy, can you tell us a bit more about your business?
yeah, so I am an elopement and intimate wedding photographer based in Arizona. Um, there are so many different words to explain what an elopement photographer, but just what I my understanding of it is, and what I tell all my clients, it is two people who want to elope with a very small, and by small I mean like less than five people,
Mhm.
anywhere that they want. Um, and so what I do in my business is I connect with the most amazing couples who are goofy, fun loving, eccentric. They really aren't traditional. They just want to do something that's more about the experience. And I help them plan a wedding, a special day where they get married, elope, in beautiful locations where they get to say I do. So that can be on top of a mountain or at a drive-through movie theater. And yes, I have shot both, and they are both the same and both as magical as they could be.
That
So that's what I
sounds
do in
magical.
a nutshell. Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds magical. Like I got pictures in my head of someone, being in a drive-through movie theater and just like the fun of it, the candid shots that you would see probably used for advertisements for like a camera, but it's like, no, this is my actual wedding. This is my life. Yeah.
Exactly. And the oh, go ahead.
No, this is about you. This is
Oh,
about
I was
you.
just gonna say, I was like, the really, really cool thing about it is, in the wedding industry, a lot of things are, you have to do it this way. There's rules to it. That's what everyone. I feel like a lot of brides that come to me think that there's rules when it
Mhm.
comes to eloping. There are none. It's about creating a day that's about you. So if you guys love the movies, then let's go to the movies and take pictures of you guys going to the movies. If you guys want to go, if you guys are hikers and you want to um, go off-roading in Sedona, then let's do that. It's giving you the freedom to do whatever you want on your day, which you sometimes don't get with working with a venue or working with family. The Elopements is just working with you and your partner to create this beautiful day. I'm just here to help.
You sure don't get it when you're working with your family. From experience, let me tell you, especially because everyone has their own vision for your wedding in their head.
Mhm.
And especially if they're helping you pay for the wedding, then it's just like, well, I'm putting money in. So I get a say in what I can do. I tell people now that if they want to get married, I think they should kind of do either get one of your friends that can be certified that can actually marry you, or go to a courthouse and have a special day to yourselves and then have a big wedding. Because when you
Mhm.
actually are on the day of, it truly is stressful. You don't really get to enjoy it as much as you probably would want to. But when we first talked about you being a guest on the podcast, and you told me that you were an elopement photographer, one, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that that could be a job. um, and I just really want people to hear more of your story. So, is this something that you always wanted to do? How did you get into photography as a business and elopement photography at that?
Yeah, so I honestly did know elopement photography was a thing as well. So don't worry, you're not alone in that. I really think that me getting here was like a two-part journey. One of it was growing up, and I mentioned this to you, is growing up when I was younger, my uncles used to take all the cousins to go camping, to go fishing, to do all this hiking things. They always told us that you just want to be prepared to be in the wilderness. You never know what's going to happen. Like you should know these skills, which is something that I learned is not normal for other people to go camping and hiking with their uncles, and we would definitely be the only black kids, just like hello. But it definitely gave me my love for being outside in nature and learning about how to preserve nature. They made sure that that was instilled in us, but it wasn't in a
Mhm.
way of forcefully. It was just like, we're going camping. Do you want to come? And I'd be like, yes, I do. And they were the best memories I've had. Um, and it really formed who I was growing up older. I used to be like an athlete and I used to do all this. So I didn't go camping like all the cousins, you go to high school, all the cousins do
Yeah.
whatever. And so I kind of lost that nature aspect in my later years, and I was an athlete. I used to run at ASU for a while and I got injured. And so I kind of fell into the arts, even though I kind of had like a secret love for it the entire time. I just never
Mhm.
felt like I was like the artsy girl. Like I wasn't really hippie, like from what I understood it was back in high school. And so I was like, no, I can't be a photographer because I'm not like this.
Mm.
Um, Long story short, I picked up a camera. I loved it. And even though I wasn't like what I see photographers be, a lot of the same ones, there's a lot of similarities. That's okay. And it got me to be a wedding photographer, which was really scary because that's like the big leads, because that's when you just got to know all this stuff because weddings are unpredictable.
Yeah.
And I thought they were fun, but they're also, there's a lot of politics, a lot of productions to it that I really didn't vibe with. And I fell into elopement photography. And I still remember my first couple. They asked me to do their elopement. It was just them in their backyard with a couple of their family and friends. And I cried the entire time. There's something
Aw.
about just being there, was literally like including myself, probably 8 people there.
Wow.
Um, and I cried because it was just so intimate. Like me and grandma were hanging out the entire time while I'm taking pictures. Grandma was making sure I was fed and doing things. And it was just a beautiful day. And it really got me to where I am now, where I'm just like, I want people to understand perfection is not needed in weddings. Production is not needed in weddings. I think, social media, the media in general makes you feel like it has to be aesthetically pleasing. You have to spend 50 grand to get married. And it's definitely the latter. You can have a beautiful day, stay within a beautiful budget, um, and still have money afterwards to enjoy your honeymoon or put into a house fund or do whatever you want. Like, I feel like sometimes weddings can be like, you get married and then you're just going to have to scrounge to figure out life after that. Like, no, wedding
Yeah.
is just a beautiful transition. And that's what I get to do with elopements. And I have loved the journey, and being someone that doesn't fit the mold makes it even better because I'm finding people who also feel like sometimes they don't feel like a bride, or they don't look like a bride, or they don't look like a groom
Mm.
um, because of their features, or they're not as adventurous as they want themselves to be, which is something in the elopement photography. There's adventure elopements, and people are like, I like the outdoors, but I can't hike 5 miles. Like, that's going to kill me. And then when I get to the top of a mountain, I'm going to be drenched in sweat. And so I just really just honed into making sure that I'm working with couples who appreciate the outdoors and want to experience it. And we're going to find ways to make it enjoyable, whether that's, I don't know, I've never done a helicopter elopement, but I'm manifesting it and speaking it into existence one day.
That's right.
um, but I've done like off-roading elopements, which are so fun. You just ride around to these locations and you didn't hike at all. So I
Yeah.
think it is what you make it. And there's so many possibilities of what you can make it.
100%. Something that I would like to touch on of what you said is you said you didn't look like people that were in your industry. Like you kind of felt maybe like an other for a little bit. And I think that that's a superpower, honestly, because it helps you niche down and it helps you stand out. So, anybody that is trying to get into any sort of business, whether that is wedding photography, whether that is, catering, marketing, acting, whatever it is, you're going to stand out because you are different. And in these industries, it's all about getting noticed. So you already have that right there. It's like, hey, I'm here. I am here. And then the
Mm.
fact that you're able to connect, like your clients, you said that some of them, they don't feel like a bride or they don't feel like a groom. They don't feel like that tradition. It's not them. And all I kept thinking about, like my marketing mind while you were talking, is I'm like, oh my goodness, you need to make some ads that is just like the wedding for you. And then have like different personality types that are not considered the norm, that shows them it's like this is a wedding that represents me, me as a person. So it's like elopement photography with Krissy Johnson. That's right. I help you be you on your wedding day. That's all we need. So,
Mhm.
question, after you got your first client, how have you been able to get more clients? Because this is a niche part of the industry. Has it been a lot of word of mouth after your first client, or how are you able to continue on?
Yeah, so it's a mix of both, and I'm still working to get the more people coming to me. So I feel like I can always have more people, more eyes on me. So I feel
Mhm.
like more people need to know about. But I would say that, yeah, it's word of mouth. Sometimes it's referral from other elopement photographers, which is super important, networking with people in your industry, because there's only so many of us and there's so many brides and grooms. And also, SEO has been starting to pick up a lot lately. People have been finding me on SEO. And sometimes Instagram too. They'll see a photo or someone will tag me in something, and I'll have a couple people reach out. So it's been pretty good. It's just a variety of different things that I'm still trying to hone in on what I want to like really, really focus on, but I'm just loving what's coming to me right now. So I'm super grateful.
No, that's great. I've talked about this before, but networking is key to make your business work. And sometimes I definitely forget it myself because you get so focused on, oh, this platform is doing really well for me. Like, oh, like Instagram is going great or email marketing is going great. So you're kind of putting all of your energy into creating content for that, and then you forget that you actually need to go out there and talk to people that are also in your industry because they're the ones that can put in a good word for you. Um, Most of my clients have come from word of mouth. It's always important to have my online presence so that people can find me and they know that I'm a real business. But people who have said, "Yeah, I've worked with her before and I absolutely love her," or like her strategy session made me realize like, "Oh wow, I was wasting money." So, yeah, networking is great. And you are currently in Arizona. So when you network, are you physically going places? Are you doing online meetups? How can people in your area network?
Um, well, I would say one of the most greatest gifts is Facebook groups. That's something that
Mm,
some people will do referrals from. I've also within those Facebook groups just made friends, or maybe someone will follow me on Instagram. I always have like a bunch of Instagram friends, and I can just kind of just have like a close friends little Instagram group. So like we all kind of just, hey, I'm not available. Is anyone available for this date? There's a few of us that kind of just interchange like referring people out because we all have the same outlook on what an elopement is, and we all have the same ideals of how we want to treat our clients. So even if I'm not available, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, hey, I trust this person. They're going to give you just as great as an experience, and they're available. I think you should hire them. It just builds up the industry that way. I don't believe in a competition. I believe in community. And as long as the couple gets married, that's what really matters. Because who's for me will find me. And I believe that for networking too. It's like just put yourself out there. Um, Networking events, there's not like specific elopement photographer events, but I would say connecting for photographers, I would say connecting with planners because sometimes people will reach out to planners for elopements too. And so if they know you, if you interacted with them, whether that is like just being present on their Instagram and they're like, oh yeah, I've seen her, I've talked to her a few times, or even like if they do styled shoots or something like that, it really does help, especially if you're starting out to just meet people, styled shoots, being very present on Facebook blogs, reaching out to photographers that you really admire. I know that can be very intimidating and difficult, but honestly, if you find the right one, anyone who reaches out to me, I'm like, yes, I will help you. This is not classified information. I want you to be successful because it was hard for me and I don't want it to be hard for you. I just want you to do what you love. So, yes, network as much as you can. Maybe scary, but just do it. You can
Oh
do
my
it.
goodness. Two things, two things. I love how I'm I'm gonna say I've seen it a lot with people in the millennial generation as well as people in the Gen Z generation are really looking to make community out of their businesses. So it's not just about, them and creating, money, an income source, but it's also I want to vibe with, I want to talk to other people that are in my industry because the truth of the matter is no matter where you are in life, you're doing better than someone and someone's doing better than you. So
Mhm.
you have information that you can like reach behind you and give to someone and help pull them up while you're also having your hand out forward so someone can pull you up as well. And I remember a long time ago, I don't know if it was a YouTube video or a book that I read, but someone said exactly what you were saying of reach out to people in your industry and you would be surprised how many CEOs, how many business owners will allow you to shadow them, will come and actually sit and have a lunch with you because people like to talk about themselves. They also like to talk about their business and their industry. And if you come with a pure heart of like, I'm really trying to learn, do you mind if you could just like answer this question for me real quick? And I would love to buy you coffee, like completely on your time frame. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking for.
Mhm.
People are really happy. And then once you start talking about something, you start to realize how much information and how much knowledge you actually do have. And sometimes you're like, oh, yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. And it can validate you because I mean, I'm pretty sure this happens to you, but you can tell me as well. There are days as an entrepreneur that you feel like you're failing and you feel like you suck. You're just like, this is just wow, like, I thought that I would be better. Like, you can focus in on a perceived failure, or you don't feel like you're doing enough in certain areas, so then everything is
Mhm.
not gonna work out. And then you go talk to someone and you're like, "Actually, I do know what I'm talking about, and I will continue to have my business. Yes, I will."
Exactly. Yes.
100%. So what is some advice that you could give somebody who is just starting to get into the photography business, but especially wanting to be an elopement photographer? What are some things that you wish you knew before you got started?
Hmm. I wanna say I wanna be very, very clear on this. You can be as talented as you can be the most talented person in the world. You can have the best gear in the world. You can know all the knowledge. But the one thing I wish someone really, really sat down with me and told me is get to know who you are and get to know
Mm,
what you love. I think it's so important. I know there's a book called, Knowing Your Why, but knowing the purpose of why you're doing this, I think is the most important thing because, like you said before, we're going to go through periods where things are going to be amazing. You're popping off, you're getting all the bookings and X, Y, like things are moving and shaking. And then there's going to be times where it's just crickets for months. And you really, really need to have that mindset that I know what I'm doing. I know this is going to work out. I believe in myself. I'm doing this because I care about other people. Even when it
mm,
doesn't look good, I feel like that's the most important thing to know is to get really in tune with yourself. Also, when you know about yourself and what you like and who you want to attract, that's marketing. That's how you market yourself. That's how you niche down and figure out who you want to talk to, who you're speaking to, because you don't want to just, speak to everyone. That's not going to help you. You have to understand who you are, what you want to do, what your business looks like, so you can speak to that person. And that person may only be a good 20 people. But if I've shot 25 elopement couples and they're meeting my price point and they're my people and I'm happy, then I'm successful. Aside from shooting 100 weddings, and I just spoke generally. My marketing was a general message, and I'm exhausted. Like me
yes,
honing in on who I am makes me be able to not burn out.
exactly. And once you really see who you are, you're allowed to pivot within your industry, right?
Mhm.
So As an example, I started out as a full service digital marketing agency. So, like I'm creating content, I'm doing strategy, I'm managing, I'm doing all these things. And in the beginning, that was fine because I loved the management part. I love the creating things. I love helping businesses turn themselves into brands. But as
Mhm.
I got deeper into my business and as I realized like what was making me the most happy, it was consulting. It was sitting down with people and saying, here's the strategy plan. Like, this is what I've noticed. And if this is your goal, this is how we can reach it. And then they can hire somebody else or, like you
Mhm.
could, hire one of my employees for like the actual content creation part. But like all I want to do is one, encourage you and tell you that you can have this. This dream can actually be real and you can keep it and it can be here for the rest of your life if you want it. If we have a plan in place, and let me help you get that plan in place that reflects you, you who you are individually, you who you are as a business as well. So, just like what Christy is talking about, of like knowing yourself, because you are going to have dry moments and dry months, and you have to know your why. Also, don't be afraid within the industry to realize that, oh, I might have to just completely, like, I still want to be in this industry, but I want to be in it in this way,
Mhm.
because you did
Exactly.
more of like the classic photography at first, and then you're like, "Actually, I like elopement photography better." And look where
Mhm.
you are now on a podcast. Hey,
Look at me.
that's right. Flip
Famous.
that hair. Flip that hair. That's it. Uh-huh. I know her. I know her.
Uh,
Now, something that we have also talked about is you have a deep love for nature and making sure that things are preserved. So, how do you attach that with your business?
so there is this core organization called Leave No Trace. And it's an organization that works to spread the message to take care of nature. Arizona is now become a destination spot. It's literally the week before Super Bowl, so it's about to be crazy, and I'm cringing out of all the trash that we're about to receive. But what I love about Leave No Trace is they give you actionable steps and information and education on how to take care of nature. Even if you're going on a hike, stay on the trail. Or if you have trash, take your trash with you. There are no trash cans in nature. There is no one coming around and picking up trash. Sometimes that's someone else's home. So you don't want to just leave trash
Mm,
in someone else's home. If you're going to your girl's house and if you have and you're eating, I don't know, a bag of chips and you leave it on the table, um, think of that and you feel like, oh, I feel guilty about leaving that trash. Maybe I should throw it away. Think about it the same way about being in nature. That is someone else's home. Regardless if they're human or not, that is someone else's home. And if we don't take care of someone else's home, then they ain't gonna invite us over anymore. And
that
if
part.
we don't get to go out in nature, then what are we gonna do? We all know how COVID went. Let's not
Oh,
go back to that. Let's not go back to that. So
oh,
just,
had a flashback. Had a flashback.
right? Did you get a little hot?
I did.
It's like,
I was like, cabin fever. I just want to go outside. Yes.
exactly. So we're all excited to go outside. So let's leave it as beautiful as we found it. Like, take your trash with you. Do not pick up wildflowers. Leave them there. Take a picture and keep on going. If you want some flowers, Trader Joe's has a great selection for a decent price. Like, let's just be mindful about the environment because it's so important. Because Arizona's been really fortunate not to have a huge crackdown on our national parks and stuff like that. But there are other states who have cracked down to the point where it's really hard for us, as local photographers, to do our job because um, they're not allowed to because people aren't preserving nature. And I've been pushing this and saying like, hey, if we're gonna be careful about sharing locations and stuff like that, because we just don't want the masses to ruin it. And it's really important to just keep nature wild, which is a saying that a lot of elopement photographers say. So keep nature wild, because we want to have this for the next 20 years. We want your kids to enjoy the same exact location that you enjoyed. And we have to take the time to do that, preserve the things that we are enjoying.
Definitely. And especially if you have somebody that it is their special day. It is a wedding, and so they have this vision in their head. They finally are doing it maybe the way that they want to do it without the noise of people around them. And then they get to the location and it's decimated, or, it has pockets of what is pretty, but it's like crabgrass, like you have patches of grass and patches of rock,
Mm,
and you're just like, this isn't what I wanted, So
exactly.
for you to have that and to bring awareness to that is really important as well. So, what are you doing? You said that you're doing some SEO and you're doing networking in order to get your business out there. Are there any social media channels or anything that you have found a lot of success on? And if so, what are you doing on those channels marketing wise to gain some of that success?
So you are catching me while I am reframing how I'm going to do marketing because I've been so hesitant to get on TikTok, but I'm on TikTok now. Usually it is just like a lot of blogs, networking, um, and Instagram has been great, but now it's getting a little bit tougher to, get my content seen on there
Yeah.
unless I'm doing stories every single day, which is not feasible for me because I don't like showing myself face on a camera every single day. Um, so that's something that I'm working on, but I really am trying to reframe my business like we talked about prior. Video is what's in. So obviously, I'm going to have to figure out how to get someone to hike with me to places to get videos. That's something I'm doing, having like doing a mock elopement and having someone record the whole thing so people can see what it's like hanging out with me all day. Being more on TikTok, showing more education, but also I've been thinking about reframing the way I look at TikTok and not being like Instagram. From what I've seen, it's more personable,
Hmm.
and you don't have to be as curated or as cute. So I can just be like finishing hiking somewhere all sweaty and exhausted and be like, guys, I just found this location, XYZ type of thing. And so I think I'm gonna be starting to like visit some of my locations that I really love that I'll exclusively only tell my couples, and being like, this could be you, this could be where you elope, this could be what it looks like. And just really honing into just being more personal and showing my personality because only elopement day, sometimes it's just us two, um, them two and me. And so I obviously gotta, be able to keep the conversation. I'm like their
Yeah.
built-in friend for the day. I'm taking their photos and I'm also, just hanging out with them. It's less stressful. So it's less stressful. But yeah, I'm trying to really put it into being more personable and just showing my personality because that's really what's going to sell in my book. Since what's helped me this far is my personality and being able to just connect with people on a deeper level and also just be random and fun and goofy and everything. Just reading the room and flowing with it. That's really my superpower.
That's right. That's right. Well, you seem to know what to do. Just to add on to that as well. So definitely, like TikTok is great, obviously, because you have multi-age ranges on that platform. And when it comes to like weddings and something that is different, like most people don't know about elopement photography, getting on camera is good. But honestly, stories as well, as you were saying, are good, but they don't have to be like this drudgery, honestly. You can take anything from 15 to 30-second videos, right? You can put in your contract with your couple that you are going to have someone there and that you're going to be using certain things for advertising as well.
Hmm.
And you honestly can take a weekend and create 20 different things. And you could have maybe like 10 or 15 videos, and they're all between 15 and 30 seconds. And then you can have some photos that you took, and you can also have some like photos of the couples, and it has their review on it. And you're just showing a review in your story, and it's not you. And you just have some pretty music playing in the background. It's the same
Hmm.
thing with TikTok. TikTok is one of those things where you can like really show your personality. You can be goofy, you can be yourself. But as I tell a lot of people as well, is if you're also trying to drum up business, talk about the causes that you are really that are important to your heart, like what we just talked about in preserving nature. Also talk about like the top 10 things, the top 10 questions that you always get asked by your couples, and just answer those. And that's 10 different videos right there. And that's like a month of content if you just do like the 10 videos and a couple reviews and then you just reacting to something. Like sometimes being on TikTok, especially, isn't necessarily always about your brand. It could be, I am doing a food reaction video or I'm doing this. And then you can kind of put your brand in there where you're like, yeah, I'm so happy that my couples don't have to go through this, like wedding fails. You can be
Mhm.
reacting to that and you're like, yep, when you elope, you don't have to deal with that. Like, book me today, like those things. See, like it's how you look at it. And that way, somebody else already created that video. That's their
Mhm.
content. And you're literally just putting your reaction and one voiceover or just type it in. If you don't even want to talk, you're just like,
Yes.
or it could seriously be a video that you're going like this, shaking your head, you know? And the
Yeah.
caption says, "This is why I'm happy that I do elopements and not a real wedding." And it's wedding fail, wedding fail, wedding fail. And that one video of you going like this, you can actually use as a reaction to like 20, 30 wedding fail videos. And you created that in like 2 seconds.
See, I love that. And you know what? I do wanna tell you that I've actually had a really hard time with marketing because I couldn't get with the marketing. I couldn't be again, I couldn't be someone that like put a production on or looked perfect. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm far, like my personality is just far from being like the perfect girl. Like it's ridiculous. So it's like it was
Mhm.
hard for me to do that. But after I've like looked into TikTok and studied it, it's something that I'm like, I could do this. So you give me these ideas. I'm like, oh, I can really do this because now I don't have that mental block of it being, oh, I don't
Mhm.
like marketing because I don't like to do aesthetically pleasing stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but that, yeah, those are really good.
Well, that's what I do. That is what I
You're
do.
really good. You're
Thank you.
really
Oh my god, I know her. Um,
good.
no, but I really wanna say this for everybody, honestly. One of the reasons why TikTok is so big, and I'm gonna use them compared to Instagram.
Mhm,
Instagram, when it first started, had 2 sections. So you had things that weren't as curated, and then it became this, we're trying to be like a magazine, and
mhm,
it's the influencers and it's the life that you wanna have, which you can aspire to being. But that alienated a lot of people. So then you have TikTok, and not only do you have TikTok, but COVID happened. So you can't go get your nails done regularly. Your eyebrows look like Chewbacca. Everyone is depressed. Girl, listen, you see, I'm a warrior, woman, right?
actually,
I'm
let
over
me just
here
slide.
like, I'm like, let's sit back because eyebrows still need to be done. Yes, God. Um,
Yes.
but you have people that were showing their real selves. It's like,
Mhm,
you know what? I'm depressed today and I just needed to know if anybody else is, because people were actually on there looking for connection. So if you
mhm,
look at any sort of marketing now and trends now, you're seeing that you in your t-shirt, you just got out of bed, or like you're brushing your teeth and there's a voiceover of you just getting ready and you're just having a thought for the day. People are relating to that. People are relating to people who look like them, who sound like them. It's not just like, oh, I want to be like this perfect Barbie. There are people who like that, and you already have someone like that. And now you have people that are like doing the everyday sort of thing, where it's just like, oh, look, I have a pimple. Oh, look, my face has scars. Oh, look, I had on a wig and I thought that I laid it down right. But as we can tell, I'm not snatched. I look like
Mm-mm.
I got snatched, like someone grabbed
Yep.
me. Like. So you have all of these things, and that's just real life. And that
Hmm.
makes you as a person and as a brand interesting. That is what makes people want to know you. And nowadays, you have smart consumers. Like, people are online sleuths. Like, are you who you say you are? Are you really about this life? Basically, because
Yep.
people will go and they will expose you. They're like,
Yep.
actually, you're not like this. And I tell people a lot, like, if there is a new trend or if there's a new cause that you want to be a part of, you can talk about how you weren't a part of it before. And you're like, you know what? I realized I needed to be a part of this, and this is what I'm going to be doing now on. That's your PSA. And then you go and do all this content, and then you stay. You continue to do that. Don't just jump on the train like Black History Month. I'm just doing all this Black stuff, and then the rest of the year I'm not. Or the same thing when it comes to um Pride Month and all of those things. It's just like corporate's in it, so we can
Mhm.
do it now. So you just have to, if you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk. Like, that's what people are looking
Exactly.
at. And as I said before, we like different. We like people that are considered strange or freaks or weird, because it gives other people permission to be strange or freaks or weird and be their
Exactly.
bold selves, and
Hmm.
and you know make a living. It's not how it was
That part.
before for our grandparents or our parents, like, we have our own businesses. People with face tattoos are like CEOs, making money, where before it
Exactly.
was you won't get hired. So don't compare. If you're going to compare yourself to anyone, compare yourself to who you were yesterday,
Hmm.
and compare yourself to the you that you are becoming. Like, am I on track to being, my best authentic self? And also
Hmm.
giving yourself grace along the way, because you are only human, and you
Only human.
will you will F up. It won't always be great. There will be days where you feel like, am I good? Can I do this? And you might end up changing careers. It could be, I did this for 10, 12 years and it suited me then, but the person I am now, I want something different, and that's okay. And during
Yep.
all of those times, you're going to have someone like me out there helping you market yourself along the way. So that was my
Exactly.
soapbox moment. Thank you. Thank you. Flip, flip. But Chrissy, could you tell us, do you have anything coming up, like any packages, or how can people reach you and contact you for your services?
Yeah. So I actually am open. My books are still open for 2023. In 2024, I have a good amount, but I still have my books open before it gets hot in May.
Mm,
But yeah, I really also offer something that's really fun is I offer adventure sessions. So if you're just a couple and you just want to go do something and have pictures, I also do that, which is really fun. And I also do, I call them steamy and spicy sessions.
okay.
So, right? So the steamy sessions are for couples, get a little steamy, and the spicy sessions are for you. Like, you want to add a little spice to your life. You want to do something a little out there. It's boudoir. But these are things that I offer because I really am in the business of making you feel good, making you feel seen.
Mhm.
Whether that is when you're getting married, or you just want to spice up life a little bit, or you just want to live a little with doing something adventurous. I really, the goal for me is for you to be seen, because it's so hard to not feel seen, even by yourself. You could, personality wise, like, you could be like, "Ooh, I don't think I look cute," and I'm like, "Actually, no, you're actually beautiful. Here's a picture. Don't talk about my friend."
Girl, you just spoke a word.
So that's
Spoke
what
a
I'm
word.
here to do. I just, when you've gone through a lot of hard things, you never want anyone else to feel that way. Like, "Ooh, I don't want my worst enemy to feel that way." So I'm just
Mm.
here to do what I can so other people don't feel that way. And if they do, come talk to me and let's dispel that. Let's get that out of the head. Let's just forget about what your mind is saying, and let's just enjoy this present moment and let's find a way to make you feel beautiful and feel
Yes.
you feel seen and loved. Let's do that. We need more of that now.
Oh
That's
my
important.
gosh. And this is why you should choose her for your photographer. You see
Boom.
this?
Period.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you. I know her. I know her. I'm over here like, can I just like redo my vows?
Yes. Yes,
We
you can
just
do vow renewals.
well, I will be calling you. Let me tell you. I mean, like, we haven't even been married that long, but knowing me, I'm just like, I want to do it again. And my husband
You
is always like,
should.
oh my God, Leslie. I was like, this is who you married. This is who you married.
Do,
Mm,
do,
mm,
do, do,
mm.
do, do,
This
do,
is
do,
who
do,
you
is who
married.
you
Na 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 na
marry.
na 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 na.
Yes,
Oh
let's
my
do
goodness.
it.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
have fun.
Oh,
I do travel. I do travel.
you travel, so do I. So we just gonna figure this out. Okay. All right. Look at that. Hey.
Yes.
Hey. So,
Get it.
what are some of your social handles? Oh, wait, before that, because this thought came to me. I'm going to talk to you after this as well. But obviously, anybody who's doing wedding stuff is on Pinterest. Pinterest is basically like 96% women that are
Hmm.
on. So always put your stuff up there. Like when you create your content, when you have like those short form videos or like those pictures, just create a page for your business. It's actually also really cheap as well if you want to run an ad of, like some of your favorite stuff. Just create some boards and people will find you because everyone's always looking at how can I make this hack or how can I make my wedding cheaper, basically. And if you just have in weddings, Pinterest weddings, elopement weddings, like those hashtags, you will be found. Like weddings, decor, and like cleaning hacks or storage hacks on Pinterest.
Mm.
Everyone is always looking at how can I make my space like more livable? How can I have like the wedding of my dreams on a $5,000 budget? So all of those things, but definitely Pinterest and TikTok will be great for you. Just throwing that out there. But what are your social handles, madam, so people can find you?
Yes. So I am on TikTok. It's Chrissy May Photography, Krissy. There's no C in my name. M-A-E May Photography. Hope you all know how to spell that. I am also on Instagram. It's Chrissy.may.photos. I just spelled it previously, so go back so you know the spelling. And I am on Pinterest, and I think my name is Chrissy T 21. I don't know. Don't know. And you can and you can also find me on Facebook if you just look up Chrissy May Photography as well.
Okay, and we will have all of that in the show notes as well. So I'll have those links for you guys so you can just click on them like, oh my God, this is her. She's amazing. Yes. Well, once again, Chrissy, thank you so much for being on the show today. You are, as we said in the 90s, early 2000s, all that and a bag of chips and more. Listen. Um, a period. Yes. And for all of you who have tuned in, thank you once again for listening to Leslie and Lily, the podcast for those business owners, entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs who are learning how to market themselves in this world. If you guys are interested, I also have a self marketing program called Your First 30 Days, which really gets into the nitty gritty of how to market yourself, which platforms are best for you, how to find your customers. Like, honestly, it's super easy. And it doesn't sound like it, but it is. And homework, all those fun things as well for you that will also be in the show notes. And if you are signed up for my newsletter, you get it for half off. So you should sign up for my newsletter. Because right now it's a special going, but mid-year we're gonna go back to full price. So I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know. Get something for half off right now. Just work that out. And
Save the coin.
it is for female entrepreneurs, female identifying entrepreneurs. I say a lot of hey boo, hey diva, hey girl. So if you're a man and you want to hear that too, that's fine. But just know that it was geared mainly toward female and female identifying entrepreneurs. Love you lots, hugs and kisses, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.